Η Αν Τερέζα Ντέκερς-Μάκερ δεν έπαψε ποτέ να κεντρίζει το ενδιαφέρον μας με τη διάθεσή της για πειραματισμό. Είναι από τις κορυφαίες χορογράφους της εποχής μας και βρίσκεται στη στέγη γραμμάτων και τεχνών με δύο σημαντικές παραστάσεις, το ιστορικό Φαζ και μια καινούργια της παραγωγή που έχει ήδη παιχτεί στο φεστιβάλ της Αβινιόν με τίτλο Αν Attendant, με την οποία μπορείτε να δείτε στη στέγη από την Παρασκευή 2 Μαρτίου μέχρι και την Τετάρτη 4 του μηνός.
The first performance we present here in Athens is Faz, 4 movements to the music of Steve Reich, which is one of the first performances I made in 1982. There are 2 dancers, Tali Dolphin and myself, and somehow it was the very beginning of my trajectory as a choreographer, and it was sort of a school. I wanted to learn how to make dance. And I didn't have a lot of experience, so I sort of tried to maximize with a minimum of material to develop a vocabulary and to find ways of how you could relate to that music, which is of course very specific. It's really minimal music, very repetitive, but which has a very strong drive. It's music which has a very strong pulse, with very strong rhythm, simple melodies. It was for me a very ideal way of being carried by the music, developing a few steps which I liked, and then finding structures that were inspired by the structures of the music, but which gave me also enough freedom to develop my own grammar. Fazen is very early work. En Attendant is very late work. Yeah? En Attendant was made 2 years ago on the request of the Festival of Avignon, the festival in the south of France, and where the starting point is the music which is linked to the history of the city of Avignon, and specifically the Great Western Schism, the 14th century so-called Ars Subtilior, which is 14th century music. It's the best way I can communicate and I can relate to the world. But to have a shared experience with a large amount of people is a quite important thing, I think, these days. Because those experiences become more and more rare, especially in a world which is so complex to grasp and difficult. Each of those pieces were really made and became what they were because of a very strong and intense creative work with very specific performers. I tried to take movement seriously, and I think I think that dancing more than ever is something which really, in a very direct way, appeals on our humanity because we work with the body. I came to this thought that what is so beautiful and what I like so much about dance is that when you dance, you call upon and you appeal on, in the first place, all on the body. And the body is the thing what we have all in common and which is in the same time so individual. And when you dance, then you call on all different kind of levels of the body. You use your mechanical aspect of your body, but also the sensual aspect. You use your emotional aspect because your body carries all memory of all emotional experiences. But it's also a very social element implied, because your bodies always relate to the bodies of the others. You can dance alone, but you can dance with other people together. I think for me dancing is also a way of thinking. So you appeal on your intellectual capacities, and of course I always see it as something which makes part of a bigger unity. So it's also very much a spiritual thing. And what is beautiful about it is I think that through the body and through dance you can really literally embody the most abstract ideas. So you can make concrete the most abstract ideas, and that's something that's quite dear to me.